Hey, comic book collectors, do you want to protect what you collect? Do you hate when your comic books slide around in your short box, or you need to turn them sideways just so they don't bend or fall over? Well, look no further than Sidekick Supplies. Their product fits firmly inside your comic box, so you don't need to worry. And not only is their product made in the USA, but also ships free directly to your doorstep. Check out our sponsor, Sidekick Supplies, at sidekicksupplies.com and use the code ComicCom15 for 15% off your purchase. Believe me, you'll be ordering more than one.
Welcome to the one and only Comic-Con Podcast, your podcast for comic book news, reviews, and comic community drama, with your hosts, Nemesis Prime and Milton the Manimal. Are you listening?
That's right, everybody. The Comic-Con Podcast, Season 4, Episode 7, big-time drama. I love it. It's so good. We are back right after the Super Bowl. I've barely talked to the man, the myth, the legend that was at the Super Bowl himself, scoring that final touchdown in overtime for the Chiefs. What's going on, man? How are you?
Yeah, well, I mean, if I was a different shade, faster, wealthier, more athletic, yeah, that was me catching that last pass in the end zone there. No, it was nice, man. It was a nice another win. 2 years in a row. I loved all the tears from all the Niners fans. I love all the tears from all the haters. I love all the tears from all the people who cried about Taylor Swift all season long. Regardless, the Chiefs pulled it off and heading back for the three-peat next year, baby.
Yes, they got it done. That's it's been good. That means the Comic-Con Podcast partnership between myself and Milton the Manimal have seen the Chiefs win those Super Bowls and
3 times. Yeah.
So let's keep it going. So as long as we keep doing this podcast.
Shout out to Kansas City though after the parade yesterday, and obviously there was some horrible incident out there, people being idiots, shooting like usual, dumbasses. And shout out, I'm sure they're not listening, but shout out to the brave like citizens who tackled that dude. That was awesome. Like that was amazing. And thoughts and prayers to the family of the fallen and the 20 people who were shot and like the kids that were hurt as well. Yeah, that was horrible stuff.
Very, very sad stuff. So, like we said, we're gonna kind of go, if you briefly or got a chance, all about what was going on with EpicNation. You can go check out the full video over at Bryan McClay Beyond Wednesday's YouTube channel. We're definitely going to be touching base on that because, of course, I posted on my Instagram. We had to bring in some people because, again, this is a community show. We want to know what else the other community members think about this. So, returning guests this week, we have I would say Jeff squared.
Just Jeffs.
The Jeffs. We have one here from Staten Island himself, proprietor of the Jam Comics ComicDunes verse, Mr. Jeff Idiot Dunes this evening. What's going on, Idiot Dunes?
Hi guys, thanks for having me back. Quick name change because I was apparently name called, but here we are. We're back where we started. Thanks for having me again, and we'll just plug what we're doing. Jam Comics, local shop if you're in New Jersey, North Jersey, and I also started working at a shop called Fat Jack's Comic Crypt in Philadelphia. So we're consulting there and hopefully bring that place back to its glory. And
it sure looks like a crypt.
We've done a lot of work. We've done a lot of work in the last week and a half. I promise you. I'll send you some updated pictures.
Yeah, can't wait to see that stuff.
Up and it's good time. You guys should do a comic crawl there.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely the 2 shops. I've been to the one in Jersey. I've never been to the one in Philly, but I'm definitely going to be heading out there with Idiot Dunes to check out the
do it, man.
Shaman Crib. And then again, we have Pie Squared, Jeff Pie Squared, Mr. Binkies himself. You've seen him on Brian's channel Beyond Wednesdays. You know him on Whatnot, and also the King of the Trolls. What's going on?
It's true. King of the Kings.
The
Troll King.
Troll himself.
Apparently
under his bridge.
Yeah, it's me who drives everyone. So much so that even though I am nobody and nobody cares about me, people have fake accounts to watch me and send text messages about me.
Well, you were the one who put the book in the pile to begin with, right?
True. It was all part of my master plan. Me and Dr. Doom built some AI. We made a CGI book that we could slide in there.
It's quick.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
Sleight of hand.
Ooh, boy, we're going to get right into it, boys and girls. So if you don't know what we're talking about, like I said earlier, we're going to get right into the community drama. Bryan McClay on Beyond Wednesdays had the one, the only EpicNation Collectibles on his show live in a one-on-one interview. And it was a, no holds bar. It was just Bryan. It was just Epic. There was no other involvement. There was no steel chair, no, special guest referee, we would say. But the chat was there, man. The chat was definitely in there, completely agrees, thinks he's a scammer, a liar, a thief, the whole 9 yards. But yeah, we're going to kind of break down a little bit of like what Bryan and Epic were kind of going back. And I literally did a whole book report about this. I typed out some of the things I wanted to talk about, I wanted to bring up. And we're kind of just going to go around the horn, what people thought about what was said, what other people in the community think about this. Obviously Zach and the two Jeffs here, what they think about, because we all are involved in different areas of this comic book community, comic book world. So, I'm gonna start off because I really want to get through my points quick and dirty, and then we're gonna finish up. If anybody has anything that wants to say anything, feel free to jump in as well, any of you guys. So, right off the rip, the problem was Bryan had Epic. He was asking a lot of like big word questions and small word questions, and the problem there was, unfortunately, Epic doesn't understand the English language very well. And it's nothing against him, but when you're going to get a good answer or coherent answer from Epic, you could tell that he still couldn't understand that. Even when the small time questions came up, you still felt like those answers are just what, he wants to hear or what was really being said. And I think that was one of the big problems throughout the entire interview. Let's get right into me. Obviously, my name was named. All of our names were pretty much dropped, except for Mr. Manimal over there, I think, or maybe he was.
I don't know. I'm sorry. I don't know how he gets out unscathed all the time. All the time.
Well, to be honest, I definitely haven't been in the forefront of the Epic drama as you guys.
Well, hold on. Is it really drama? Right? Drama.
No, you're right.
If
not
your
drama.
wife cheats on you,
he's a thief,
or like something like that. Like people who steal, we talk about outing all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And as a community, and I'm sorry, Justin, for just hijacking that.
No, you're good. That's what we're going to do.
You can go on Instagram, and if somebody steals something from a shop or this and that, like it happens, they share that information, right? Like the only reason why he is safe is what? Because he sells on Whatnot. If this was anybody else, they'd be gone already. Anyone I know that has shows in Jersey and my shops, he's not allowed in. And you know what? Kudos to Zach for always just skating away, man.
Well, you know what? Like, and not to jump, I know you guys have a lot to say, so I'll just probably jump in here and there. But honestly, my general opinion of this guy is like, I just don't have any fucking time for him. I don't. I mean, I don't buy from Whatnot. I don't buy garbage exclusives. I don't buy exclusives, period. So this guy is like not even in my realm of collecting. And I've also kind of turned a corner, I feel like, these past couple of weeks where I've decided I really just don't have anything to do with anyone in this community who doesn't read comic books. If all you do is sell comics, you really got nothing for me. And I don't really got anything for you, to be honest, because you're not a part of my community. Like, you just sell books, which is fine. There's no problem with that, but you're not part of the comic book community. That's like saying someone who works at Lube Jockey is part of the automotive community as well. Like, actually that's a horrible reference, but anyway, I just don't really care about EpicNation. I don't give a shit about him. And honestly, I think he's on the way out. I think the reason he reached out to Bryan is because he's feeling the heat. His sales are down. His money's down. People don't want to work with him. And I think the fire's going out and we just let it die. Like, I got nothing for the guy.
I agree with you. I definitely agree with you on that. Again, back to my book report over here. So, my name was dropped. He said something along the lines of, Nemesis Prime, he used to come into my shows. Yes, 100%. I'll agree with that. I used to go into his shows when Whatnot was new, when he was a nobody, when Whatnot was a lot of fun. I bought a whole Clone Wars set, Clone Wars 1 through 12, from him for under $1,000 raw. What did I do? I ended up pressing all of them. I ended up grading them, and I'm sure I sold them if they weren't 9/8 to keep in my collection. I'm sure I bought other books off of him when I didn't even know what he looked like. To be honest, again, I thought he was Jamaican. Like, I thought he was like I thought he had dreads. I had no idea what he looked like. I didn't know Baliram was this fat guy, like just I whatever. So it was so different. So yeah, of course I bought from him. And then he brought up my name, saying that he saw me at MegaCon. Yeah, I saw him at MegaCon when I was trying to go to a photo op. Couldn't really stop and have a whole big conversation with you when you're in front of all your boys and whatever. Like, I didn't have time for you. I wasn't gonna have what was I gonna do? Pull out my phone and start recording you? Come on. Like, we're gonna have an interview there with nobody else around? You would have said no. So next thing I want to drop in, of course, the JewCon thing. He talked to Bryan brought up something along the lines of like, oh, well, I thought didn't you brag about being, at the JewCon? And he even quoted, he goes, I didn't brag about it. I just posted about it, that I had a private signing with Frank Miller. Bullshit. You did an IG story talking about yourself, showing off the booth and the con and telling people, I'm here, where are the trolls, suck a lolly. And I even did a little short video a while back, like saying that on repeat, suck a lolly. And that's directly from that con. And we've all seen that video. We've probably posted it on our own shows. So again, another garbage thing that had to happen throughout that interview.
Well, and let me jump in real quick on that one. So even on top of that, first off, if we're talking JewCon, I mean, so he threw my name around there. So let's start some other sakes of clarity here. If you listen to me and listen to anything that I said about JewCon, according to Epic, I said that he was banned and he wouldn't be this, he wouldn't be that. No. So we're gonna do some fact checking here.
You kind of sounded like him when you said that.
I try. I've been practicing. So what I said specifically, and it's exactly what happened, is Epic would not have a booth. Epic would not be able to post as a representative of Juice or the convention itself, much the same way that LA Comic Con told him to take the logo off the back of his books or remove the books. Mm-hmm. And what I explicitly said is, he may be there, but he's not actually there. He's just there as a person. And he has no affiliation to anything. And frankly, the convention itself was appalled at the things that I've told them as to what he's done. And they actually apologized to me for his behavior. Mm-hmm. So, the whole night, Binkies said this. And immediately, like, anyone with a pair of eyes can go back and look. And there's a fucking post that counteracts everything the nitwit said.
Yeah.
I don't know what like delusional reality the man was living in, but when there's very clear, irrefutable fact, video of the trolls, this, that, and everyone else, this, all that. Sorry, Charlie, you lost your fucking cards. Like, do not pass go. Do not collect $200. Get the fuck out of here.
But that's been the story from the start. Is like, since the whole stealing bit. I'm not going to say drama because I don't think it's drama again, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's just
right.
Facts. You're reporting the facts. Guy steals. His story changes around so many times. And then this guy doesn't work for him, this and that. Again, I've said it from day one. If any of my employees is a representative of me at a convention, is with me at a convention, and they steal, that's a direct reflection on me as the business owner. And we need to handle that right away. We don't need to make a video or post combating all the irrefutable proof, making video edits, taking down posts. It just gets ridiculous. It was ridiculous. And then, the other half of it is, from my perspective, he likes to attack you guys for like you're clout chasing, right? Which I think is the absolute best. So what's my story? I'm definitely not a clout chaser. Go look at my history. I'm pretty successful in this space without creating shenanigans, variants, none of this nonsense.
Yeah.
So if I'm a clout chaser, what's going on? Like, my story stays the same. The story you guys have been telling stays the same. He's the only one that just keeps backtracking, right? We didn't need to have this one-on-one Bryan and Epic interview time like we were watching some show in the 90s with Geraldo Rivera covering something that we all know, right? Like watching Vince McMahon lie about the steroid era. Like everything this guy was saying was just, why are you wasting your time, Ryan? Why are you giving him the space? And that actually upset me more than anything else. Like, we were all past this guy. He's just a fart in the wind. Just let him go. And you know, like Zach had mentioned earlier, like, why are we giving him the time and the space all over again? Just completely unnecessary.
Yeah, I think that was a big thing on the comments on my reel today. You know, everybody, you know, why are you giving him a platform? And I mean, I'm not going to say it. You may want to say it down there, but I think it's just interesting that, you know, he, like, and Zach said earlier, you know, he's hurting for stuff. He needs to find out he needs new followers, I guess, like that he needs to clear up and clear the air. It's very odd that he decided to do that.
So what you said, you know, he doesn't need a platform. So I'm not going to say who or what, but because it's not my place. But again, we're connected. I have a lot of friends who are in the, I guess, the content creating space, and they like to call it like it is. So one of my friends made a comment on the post, and he
on the live show. Get it right. It's in the live show.
On the live show. On the live show. Yeah, on the live show. And Kevin Bali, Epic, whatever you want to call him, had reached out to my buddy and was like, I don't need Criminal Nation collectibles.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Thank you. I just made that up. You can use it.
It's like, can I fall for that LLC?
Shirts, if you make me shirts, sold. He's going to freaking coin that. If he's listening to this, he's going to coin that. So we better act fast if he doesn't have it already. So then he responds to my buddy. Hold on. Let me. I'll pull this up real time just so you can see, because this is what it's. Oh my God, this is what it's about, and this is where it gets wild, right? Because it's like you don't have, it doesn't register. You're not bigger than anything. You're a guy who slings nothing, and it's all shenanigans, right?
Mm-hmm.
You weren't here before, like you said, you don't read comic books, but it's not even that. Let me find this. This is great.
Do I have to text you who it is? Do I have to
no,
point
I'm looking
to the
for
DM?
It. Hold up. If I had to pull it up. It's because I had so many.
You can type in his name, you know that.
Well, I had to go through. Messages my friend says, just a heads up, I don't need a platform.
All right, so this is now you brought up the message.
This is Epic replying to my friend's comment on the live show.
Mm-hmm.
Just a heads up, I don't need a platform. Sir, let's call a timeout. I'm going to throw the challenge flag. The only reason why you have any type of following in this space is because of a platform called Whatnot. You were not selling comic books. And I'll drop another name. My friend Kurt Bowlers didn't sell you stuff back in the day, and I'm pretty sure he stopped. But if not, we'll have the conversation with him. Don't worry. And you are a platform seller. You don't sell anywhere else. Maybe Instagram now, but you were birthed from the womb and delivered from the vaginal comics organs of Whatnot. Like, you have nothing else going on for you, sir. So let's just get that clear. You need a platform because you're nothing. You're nothing on the platform because you're nothing. Everything you sell is nothing. Good day to you.
I think, like throughout the whole show, what kind of kept bugging me, besides like just the idiocy of every comment and statement that was made. I mean, it was just like, you wish you could reach through and just wring his neck. It's just so ridiculous, or shake him like Homer shakes Bart and like The Simpsons, right? But the thing that just is like, it blows my mind how there's anyone. Of course, you have like the blowjob king B. Jaroni out there, who's just out there just thirsting for some epic schlong all day long. But
did he catch that on the back end of hole 14 by chance?
No, he probably got, he didn't even get par on that one, dude. So, but anyway, it's just what blows my mind the most is it's like, okay, so here's this guy like in a nutshell story, and of course I'm going to miss a few things because how can you keep straight everything? Like, okay, so he didn't have a bad car dealership. Oh, he didn't hit that guy and almost like kill him in the car wreck. Oh, he didn't have these problems. He didn't steal. He didn't screw over Sub-Zero. He didn't screw over Nerdy. He didn't do all these things. I mean, how many? We were talking like 20 different incidents of like stuff where like literally this guy's the definition of the saying, where there's smoke, there's fire. Like, I've never lived a life where I've had so many things where people are like, yeah, well, what about this? Like, even Brian throughout the whole show is like, okay, well, now let's move on to this problem and this problem and this problem and this problem. Like, the problems never stopped. So like at some point, what rational human being is like, there might be something to this guy's shadiness here. Like,
those
this
things
shit
like
just
it was a
keeps on
physical
coming
challenge,
up.
man.
Bejaroni's out there just like, nope. He's still such a good guy, dude.
Well, and what's even more hilarious to me, let's not even talk problems. Let's get straight to the nut cutting as well. Exclusives are a cash grab. This is a direct
Oh
quote.
yeah.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
They're a cash grab. The asshole dropped an exclusive 2 hours prior on his website.
Yeah.
So let's all just, let's all eliminate things that people may squabble over. Oh, he's not a thief, his employee was. Oh, we didn't do this. This happened. Okay, let's cut all that out. Let's get straight to the nut cut. Would you go to somebody that says, by the way, exclusives are cash grabs? P.S. I've got an exclusive. Do you want it?
Yeah, give me some cash.
Does that sound like somebody that you want to support? Does that sound
Right.
like somebody who has your best interest as a consumer in their mind, who
Mhm.
openly admits to a practice of cash grabs, but is equally producing those cash grabs and admits to it, and doesn't just admit to it, but brags about the
Yep.
fact that he is producing those?
I would buy from him because you got me sold on his business practice, but I'm blocked on every platform.
Well, that's okay. He has a website that sees about 5 clicks a day, most of which are from Central Europe. It's almost like maybe some arms are getting sold
Yeah,
or
it's almost like
something.
there's some criminal activity occurring in his like family and his history. It's almost like there's government agencies
But
that have
isn't there
questioned him.
a current suit out or something going on? And Binkies, like I don't know. I just remember hearing and seeing something about comics, like EpicNation versus someone. And I don't understand.
So I've seen that there's an EpicNation LLC lawsuit out there. I don't have a ton of info on it. I haven't had a chance to pull the info, but there's a specifically named, Bali EpicNation LLC, and this is prior to EpicNation, the business being listed in Plucky's name, which is the interesting part.
Yeah, that was something I'm surprised Brian didn't bring up. And I don't think he knew. I feel like that would have been a perfect question. Like, why are you not the owner of the LLC?
Well, it's also like, how do you have enough time to bring up all these problems? You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I know.
some shit's gonna fall
Well-
through. Like, there's so many problems.
And curiously enough, if he has a legitimate car business, and I'm not saying that he doesn't, why is there not an LLC record of it under his name either? Anybody else find that odd?
I think this needs to be covered in a 7-part documentary,
Oh, God.
like The Last Dance, and we should 30 for 30 the shit out of this, man.
Well, I'm gonna find a podcast that talks about car dealerships. So, like, is there a Fast and the Furious car dealership podcast out there that wants to take over the Balaram section of this? Because this is a comic book side. But yeah, it's absolutely wild. And it was funny too when he was like, after the LA Comic Con thing, I'm trying to stay quiet and to kind of die down on the thing. And to be honest, and I said this to someone today, I think if I didn't go to MegaCon, this probably would have stayed quiet. The stuff that went down at MegaCon with Matthew would have probably not have been risen up from wherever you want to, like the grave or whatever you want to call it, right? I'm in agreement.
Yeah, 100%. Because I mean, it's possible that one of the retailers that knew what happened would have spoken to one of us at some point.
But it's too late. It was too late. Right?
Yeah.
I was there, like there on Friday. It was the perfect opportunity. It was like the perfect storm. I went to this con for the first time, and I'm not even in the building more than an hour, and 2 retailers tell me the story, and it was just like, whoa, thank you so much for this.
I got the message right away. And I think
Oh,
you
it
told
was-
me, and I just started laughing. I was
Yeah.
like, I'm busy with real stuff. This is hysterical. I can't with this guy anymore.
Yeah. And I love how he's like, oh yeah, me and Matt are fine, this and that. We did our show. Yeah, because I'm sure Matt also wanted to get money too. Like, again, it's always saving face. It's, Binkies had the conversation with Matt. I had a conversation with Matt. He understands. I doubt he's going to do anything else with him unless he already had it prearranged and he doesn't want to back out of a deal because maybe there is a contract for some deal and then he could sue him. Well, you were in a contract, but I doubt that's going to happen. So, last thing I just want to touch on for myself, and then you guys can just literally, we'll go around the table. It was the Sub-Zero stuff. So he talks about, I showed the proof previously and all the stuff that with Sub-Zero. Again, the proof and the story goes both ways. You don't have, if both of these guys aren't on the screen at the same time, you have no idea who's to blame. And then Epic always he keeps talking about, oh, he owes the greater, quote unquote greater, which I think is the submitter money, and that person is taking Sub-Zero to court. If the books were never graded, how does Sub-Zero owe any money? If Sub-Zero never got any of the books back, how does he owe any money in this? The stories just don't line up, right?
Yeah,
then,
well, that's the thing too. Exactly, it's something that I fit on. So first off, he said $25,000 is what Sub-Zero is. This guy, the three of you guys, are you gonna front me 25 grand? Any of you?
Yeah, probably. I mean,
a real conversation. What it's for?
Yeah, I mean,
I gave Jeff $1,000,
but yeah, I mean, I'm right.
25 grand to grade books. Like,
probably not those books, but it's better stuff.
What, like Taco? Are we talking about like Taco Time? Deadpool Taco Time? No, probably not, dude. No.
So
hard pass on that one,
right?
It's gonna be a
So
hard pass.
so somebody fronted $25,000 and allegedly shipped things overseas and did this and did that. Which, first off, is anyone shipping something overseas if they haven't received? Do you know how fucking expensive overseas shipping is?
Yeah, right.
Yep.
You try to avoid shipping overseas.
Yeah.
I hate that conversation.
I don't entertain international. I probably should, but no thanks.
So, like, you know, Epic wouldn't give this person's name. So, number one, if you can't give me a name, I don't believe that they exist. You may as well have told me that Santa Claus was the greater, and I would have actually believed it a little bit more.
Yeah.
Number two,
it was Matt Nelson. Matt Nelson is the submitter.
It's true. It's
It's
really
also
strange.
Santa Claus. So apparently they're making dreams come true over there at CGC.
I guess so. Yeah, you know, and again, real quick, you know, so they talk about the money thing. He talks about how it went from like 50,000, and then he's like, no, he only wants 30 and 25 and then 12, and he's like, oh well, how come, you know, why is he just dropping all this money all of a sudden? I don't think Epic understands the whole idea of he's just trying to get some money so he can square up with people and just get out. Like Epic doesn't understand the whole taking a loss sometimes is the better. You know, I just want to square up with people. I want to get out of this contract. I want to get out of these deals just so you can get rid of the guy. Like what's the quote in A Bronx Tale? You know, hey, you know, you lost that guy for $20. You don't have to deal with him again. You know, he's out of your life for $20 or something like that, right? That's literally what it is. Like he just wants the money, just pay these other people. He doesn't care. Like maybe he owes a lot more to other people, but let's just square up and get out. Yeah, I'm done. Next up, let's go around. Mr. Idiot Dunes, what do you got to say? What do you think about all this? What do you think about the interview?
You know, I hope at some point everyone who does business like realizes what kind of person this guy is. You know, Zach pointed out and Binkies pointed out the track record that he has, and it's just not a good one. You know, my first experience with him, he tried showing me, I forget, I was with Javon Jordan, his buddy who we used to hang out with. I don't know if he still does, the Kid Collector Cove or whatever. And we were in Chicago, and I was outside bullshitting with Javon, and he starts coming over and like showing me books that mid-grade books and shenanigans like he's. I'm like, what is this guy doing? And Javon, it's like, hey, chill. Like he's just like trying to show off. He was very, we need to impress and play this persona. Oh, I'm epic. I'm like, hey, Jeff, ComicDunes. I was like, yeah. And at the time, I believe I worked for Metropolis or a Comic Connect. So, you know, one of the bigger in the room, Mr. I don't need a platform, like, you know, and it was just funny. And I scrolled through the phone real quick. I'm like, Javon, watch this. And we just shut him up with some cool pictures. I was like, here's some things you'll never see. Good luck with your mid-grade 300s. He probably stole back then too, but I don't want to throw out other allegations if he's got a whole slew against him anyway. We need to all move past this, you know, because this isn't drama. We're alerting the community of what's going on, right? But we have to play a part. Everybody needs to play a part too.
Oh yeah, I think that's what it is. You know, people were complaining or making comments on Brian's show, on his posts, on my post that, you know, again, giving the guy a platform. Why is this is drama? We need to move on, like you just said. And it's not about that. It's about letting people know that how much of like what he's doing to people. And You know, it's not about the clicks. It's not about the views. It's literally about, you know, making people aware of what's going on.
Of exactly. Bryan should do the 7 nights of Epic, just like we were talking, like The Last Dance.
The documentary.
The doc. It could be one night. It's going to be, you know,
one problem.
The first guy you mentioned before, Sub-Zero. The second night it could be, you know, Danielle. Third night it could be this
Homeland
artist.
Security.
Yeah, whatever it is, it could be the person that they hit. We could just go a hard right one episode.
Yeah.
Just completely go, but then bring it back to like him just scamming to the most recent, and just chop it up. And Bryan would be like, okay, we got the retailer from MegaCon that you know spoke to you, but having him on a one-on-one was just so stupid. They need to have him talking with someone else that it happened with. Put him.
I get what you're saying, but we've seen that happen. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, I wish someone else would have been able to be on there. Jesus, not Nick GQ, but we've seen that happen. And like, he's talking over Bryan's like the most cool, calm, and like, collected, like very like, you know, laid back, low key, and Epic just talking over him all the time. Like, now you even put in one mildly antagonistic person in there, and out comes the suck a lolly persona, and all comes. I mean,
well, it can mean whatever you want it to mean.
At that point, honestly, it's just to me like, it's not even worth like talking to this dude. Like, he's gonna get jumped at a con. I guarantee you, he has too many enemies out there. Sub-Zero is gonna bash this dude if he ever sees him. He's gonna go away. I mean, I don't know, dude. I know he's got a bunch of followers on Whatnot, and his live shows are, you know, there's pretty substantial people there. But look, man, have you ever seen that house? They can't even afford heat in that house. That guy's not even like he's talking about how much money they got. Plucky's sitting there like wearing like she lives in Antarctica. That's cold as shit in that place. It looks like a freaking stash house. Like, what is going on over there, dude? Oh, he's just
incidentally the beanies where she hides the comics.
Yeah. So in her sweatpants, her two layers of sweatpants. Is that where she hides the ASM 300? You know, like, I mean, it's a joke, dude. This guy's comical, bro. Who is successful that is peddling Deadpool Taco Times? First off, come on, man. What are we doing here? Have you seen these books? They're horrendous. That Minnie Mouse, and I'm not even an art guy, bro. That Minnie Mouse, Mickey Mouse, that looked like a third grader drew that. And no offense to the artist, but that shit sucked.
No offense to third graders.
Dude. This guy just needs to go to AI, bro, because it's garbage.
Yeah, that's pretty bad. And he was trying to explain it. Well, it's, you know, because again, it's Steamboat Willie is the trademark that you're allowed to use, not Mickey Mouse. But yeah, that Minnie was just like, ooh boy.
There's nothing Steamboat about that Willie either.
Oh no, not at all.
Mickey, bro.
Yeah, and him trying to explain cosplay wars was like the best. He's like,
well, these are all art books. Well, like what's the insides? Like what does that mean?
What is Cosplay Wars?
Some new book that's going to come out about. He was trying to explain it is people that go to conventions and a virus hits, and anybody
that was the one.
Okay. And people that are dressed up as cosplayers, the virus infects them, and some people are good, some people are bad, and then it kills off everybody else. So basically, the four of us, if we were at a con, we would be dead because none of us cosplay. That's basically what it is. The people that actually spend money at the shows at a convention would be dead, basically.
You see where some of these people keep their money? I've gotten sweaty bills from uncomfortable crevices and almost just had to give it to them for free.
From their Steamboat Willie?
Yeah, just about.
Binkies, do you want to jump in on anything before we kind of move over to some comic book talk?
Oh, so speaking about like the cosplay war stuff. So I'm just gonna throw it out there. I'm gonna throw it out to the panel. If you guys are in front of a computer and you can use the Google machine, I don't want it to be my voice because someone will say that I'm lying. They'll probably say that you guys are lying too. But I want you guys to do me a favor. I want you to Google Next Level Concept Comics and tell me if you even find a listing on Google of such a company even existing.
Next Level Comic what?
Next Level Concept Comics, I believe is their name. Next Level Concept.
Facebook group.
You got a Facebook
maybe?
Next Level Comics
From 2015.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. The Dauntless #1. That's old as hell. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Next Level Concepts down there. What's that one? But it's no comics.
No, they do. I think
That's
kitchen
food,
stuff,
produce,
kitchen and food.
Which I know that
So-
guy's not eating vegetables, so that can't be him.
He's eating something.
But yeah, so yeah, I get what you're saying. So there's nothing out there for next level
Yeah.
concept.
So this,
no publisher.
Yeah, so this make believe book that may or may not be real. I'm not going to say that again. I'm not going to say that it isn't. There are issues of this cosplay wars comic that exist, but you're acting like it's going to be the next fucking Do You Poo or a great concept or something. These people don't even have a website.
No more Do You Poo, please.
Stop lying. Just
Stop with the poos. Stop with the concepts. Stop with the bad ideas. None of it works.
Like I just, and this is what frustrates me about all this. There's a lot of people, and I do agree. We are giving him a platform in some ways, and that keeps him around in some senses. I mean, yeah, anybody that says that, they're not wrong. But here's the other edge of the sword. So long as people stay silent as to the shit that he pulls and the shit that he does and the lies that he spews, like if I was playing a drinking game for every time that he either misspoke about something that I did or lied about something that I did last night, you guys would have had to come down to Baltimore and get me out of the hospital from suffering from alcohol poisoning.
I agree with I agree with like what you're talking about, like, and that's kind of how I felt at the beginning of this. But I genuinely kind of feel like we've reached like the plateau, where I mean is like all the people who are gonna be done with this dude are done with this dude, and all the people who aren't gonna be done with them, they're just gonna stay not done with them. Like I don't feel like you're gonna be able to convince B. Jaroni or any of the other people.
Well, and that's the thing. Like I'm not worried about convincing those people, but what I'm worried about is the next Matthew Waite. The next artist.
Yes, those are the people we should be focusing on. Yes.
Right. And that's the other edge of the sword is if you aren't talking, the next Matthew Waite situation is going to happen. The next Nerdy Girl situation is going to happen. The next person that's going to get fucked over, it's in comics by this guy because people aren't out there to put out all the bullshit that's going on and being transparent about it.
Agreed.
So, it's a question of how to balance that.
Right.
For me personally, like, anybody that knows me over the past week or so, like I've dealt with so much drama. This guy is in essence, he's a fart behind my back. I don't care. It blew out the other end and somebody in the hallway smelling it right now. Whatever, dude. Get your fucking lies out of your mouth about me and get real. I've said it before and I'll say it again. Just get real. Captain, I've never been cease and desist. I have the proof. Motherfucker, I have the proof that you were cease and desisted. And there's people again that are like, oh, you keep complaining, but you don't have receipts. I have receipts.
Mm-hmm.
You guys want receipts? I'm right here. Come get them. I'm happy to share them. I'm not going to blast them out in public.
Let somebody else when the courts come and that was the thing too. Like he wants to go to court, and Bryan even said it in his second show. It's like, yeah, you're going to take these people to court. So you say that's going to open up so much more for you, man. Like,
wait, who did you want to take to court?
Sub-Zero.
He's apparently going to take Sub-Zero to court, which, I know what's been said. Stone Cold Steve Austin, don't trust anybody. It's kind of my standpoint, especially when it comes to everything around this. I don't trust anybody as to what they're saying. Nobody's ever given you 100% of the truth.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know. That's what it is. It's one-sided. All these things were one-sided. So,
but I certainly can make an assessment and look and say, well, here's a stack of incidents. Here's a pile of complaints and questions, and make a reasonable assertion that there's probably where there's smoke, there's fire.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I
mean, listen, Bryan did a 2-hour show last night. If there was not all that, then there wouldn't have been a 2-hour show.
Right. But it's just like, it frustrates me. I don't need a platform yet. I'm selling on a platform that's whatnot. And I, not me, but Epic, explicitly asked Bryan McClay, who, again, let's talk receipts, has said to me, I don't need to talk to Bryan McClay. I don't need to be on YouTube. I don't need any of this.
Mm-hmm.
Explicitly reaches out via email to Bryan McClay to have a conversation.
Because he's a narcissist, man.
No, he
is.
He's a massive narcissist.
And you hit the word on the head. You hit the SAT word of the day that I was about to jump to.
Yeah. I mean, that's all it is. And he feels like he sits here and cries about, oh, they're bullying me. Bro, you love it. You love it. You love the
Oh,
attention.
he
You want to
loves
be
the
on
attention.
everyone's. Yeah.
Because let me throw some other quotes from his mouth last night to go on the narcissism thing. I was a little comic guy, but guess what? I got to be the big comic guy.
Yeah,
Who the fuck says that?
who believes it? Besides
Also
him.
true. But like,
Mhm.
who the fuck would ever? You could go and ask Darren from Unknown Comics if he thinks he's the big comic guy, and he's just like, I don't know, fucking sell comics.
Yeah.
Normal people don't sit there. Oh, I got to be the big comic man. I was on the stage. Motherfucker, stop worrying about being on the stage and start worrying about showing up to court when you're supposed to be in court, taking care of people you hit with cars, taking care of people you owe money to, taking care of all that business. Stop lying. Stop saying falsehoods. Stop claiming things that are in print, invisibly in print, and not even like open to interpretation in print. Like explicit fucking Instagram posts that say, hey, so and so, which was Queen's Comic Party, and the other vendor that posted something, if you have information, please reach out.
Mm-hmm.
Yet apparently that's me claiming someone has stolen something and that they've stolen X number of books and this, that, and everything else. Yet it's clearly just a post that says, hey, person that posted this and other person involved that's also tagged on that post, please reach out if you have information so I can be of assistance.
Mm-hmm.
The claims of clout chasing and things like that. Does anybody honestly believe for 10 seconds I'm worried about clout?
No.
I'm irrelevant, and I'm happy to be irrelevant.
Yeah.
Did you like my comment? I was like, "Who's Binkies anyway?" And I wrote, "Binkies is your daddy."
I had that screenshotted actually. I had that screenshotted on my phone, and I forgot to send it to you.
I was really sad. I didn't get more hype on that because I thought that was like gold, bro. He's like, "Who's Binkies anyway?" Binkies is your daddy, dude.
Well, apparently, if you're gonna call up Bryan McClay and ask to come out and in under 5 minutes throw my name out there, apparently I'm doing something and I'm really ruffling some feathers.
Oh yeah.
I
And
don't
listen,
know.
I'm in the same boat, man. He threw my name out there multiple times, so
Yep.
you know what did.
Yeah, yours was right behind me. Yours was 30 seconds right after my name. It was Binkies and Nemesis Prime. Like I'm the fucking ringleader over
ComicDunes was
here.
in there.
Like we were the ones who decided to steal from that guy that day.
Mm-hmm.
But don't forget, he is going to be doing a 50-cent variant, and he's going to have 50 cents streaming on his whatnot.
Which again, speaking of narcissism,
What?
oh, I'm good for.
Oh, you didn't hear about this, Zach? You must have jumped off at this point.
Wait, I missed that too.
Oh, you
okay.
guys don't know about this. All right.
So yeah, let's talk narcissism. Oh, I know 50 Cent. I'm going to be doing a book of 50 Cent. He was in my car rental business because when I deal with my exotic car rental business, I deal with music stars and drug dealers. And I shit you not, that is also a quote.
Mhm.
And anybody that doesn't believe
No, wait, time out. Musicians, stars, and drug dealers. That's
Yeah,
Yes.
he said this. He
this
said
is
that.
a quote. Anybody that doesn't believe
send
me,
it to
please go to
50.
Bryan McClay's. Please go to Bryan McClay's show. The quote is there. I'm not misstating that. I'm not misquoting that. These are
I'm so
direct
happy I'm
words
losing
from the
hearing
man's
in
mouth.
my right ear.
Yeah. He
Stuff
said
like
that the reason he got out of the car rental business because of that, because he dealt with a lot of drug dealers, and you know they come after you. You know.
Can I
Yeah,
throw
when
in
you
what
screw him over.
in
When
that
you
whole
screw him
Biggie
over.
Tupac bit? Did you go way back?
Yeah. So yeah, he's doing
yeah,
a variant with 50 Cent because he knows him. He's trying to get Flavor Flav for C2E2 doing a variant as well over there. He said
Yeah.
he actually said he would fly Flavor Flav out there and all this and pay for him.
Yeah,
Okay.
and like, dude, who cares? You're gonna throw out names? Okay, let's throw out names. I know Gilbert. I'm gonna do a variant with Gilbert. It's gonna be a WWE variant. It's gonna be great. I'm gonna go to Dwayne's house and go hang out. Look, I'm throwing out names. I must be important.
Let's find out his credit score.
Gilbert.
So I don't know this dude's credit score, dude. That's
Like-
my goal. I'm gonna find out his credit score.
Like, who just?
Yeah.
Again, it frustrates me, and it drives me batty, and I'm gonna try to leave it at this. It drives me batty that anyone would want to do business with somebody that says, "Oh, they're all quick money cash grabs," and just put one out on his own, and then tries to justify his quick money cash grab, and then in the same justification said, "Yeah, that's also a quick money cash grab." He just told you people to your face he is trying to grab cash from you. He has admitted now to stealing money from you to your face.
Gotta pay that credit card bill, dog. It can pay itself.
Stop pretending like he's a good guy. He's a turd burglar. Let's be real.
All I gotta say to you, Deadpool taco time. Deadpool taco time.
I'm dying over here about this.
I know we could see. Unfortunately, nobody else could see you dying over there. And but yeah, that was true. So everybody, make sure you definitely go check out Brian's 2-hour show with him. Other than listening to us rant and react about it. So I thought about doing a whole live show. I thought about calling out of work today and doing a whole like reaction video, watching it with other people, and whoever wanted to jump in. But we're not going to do that. But let's actually get back to some important stuff in the community. Some goddamn comic books. We haven't talked comic books in literally 2.5 weeks now, because last week I had Otto and Anthony from Bird City on here. We talked MegaCon, so we didn't talk books. So there is going to be a lot to talk about as far as reads. I am super excited to talk about a ton of books this week, but let's kind of start with our guests. Mr. ComicDunes, let's talk with you first. What are you reading? Anything that you read over the past couple weeks that you want to talk about, bring some people to the attention?
G.I. Joe 301 to 301 to 303.
Those are the new ones, right? Yeah.
Say again?
Those are the new ones, right? The new
yeah. So
Larry Hama stuff.
There's the Hama who's continuing like the ongoing.
Yeah.
And then they have the Energon universe, which is something different from what I understand. So I caught up on that. Really, really different, like mutant zombie thing going on. Then they merge with some technology. Had no idea what I was getting into because it's been a while since I read some G.I. Joe, so that was nice. Caught up on that. And I read the first 2 issues of Transformers. I don't know if I talked about that the last time, but Transformers, I know I have like the other issues too, but I'm hooked. I'm hooked on Transformers. I'm also hooked on that Joe's, and kind of that's really it. Just staying in that 80s lane. Oh, and Thundercats. Holy smokes, Thundercats was amazing.
Okay, yeah, let's talk about the Thundercats, because that was definitely going to be one of my books. So what were your thoughts on it? You liked it a lot? You thought it was...
I liked it. I mean, it's like it's a retelling of the origin, right?
Mm-hmm.
So like I remember watching it all as a kid, but I didn't remember all the storylines and everything like that. But that was I don't want to spoil it for people, but at the end of what happens, that was an episode as well. So like he's going through a trial. He's still a child, right?
Yeah.
He's fresh out the pod, the whole bit. So it's different. I thought the art was great. I enjoyed the story. Declan, he's pushing it along. So it was different.
It definitely was. For me, with the nostalgia thing that's kind of resurging between like the Joes, the Transformers, Gargoyles, Darkwing Duck, all these, to me, I felt it was one of the weaker of like the 80s reboots in a way. Like it didn't really grab me. And again, it's only one issue, but I get what they're doing. They literally just want to give you the entire origin story right up front, like what happened, why are they on New Thundera, like this whole thing. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see where they're going to go, like with Jaga is at the end with Mumra. Like it's going to be very interesting of like how they're doing this. But for me it felt a little strange. Like it kind of was like a little lackluster. But again, it's one issue. Let's see what happens going forward.
Sure. I struggled with the interiors a little bit myself. I didn't necessarily think they were the best, but I feel like that's like comics in general right now. There's just, I don't want to say but there's not much good interior art these days. There just really isn't. I'm curious to see where it goes, though. I mean, it's building a whole new world, a whole new universe. And one thing I will say, so it is selling really well. And in fact, it's selling so well. At this point, Midtown has now limited every single cover to 1 per customer.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I think they sold like 150 plus.
Yeah, they've sold, especially for a Dynamite book, they've sold a ton of copies.
Yeah. I've been working recently with Dynamite, and shout out to Nick, because this is something that they're working on. And so, I mean, again, I love the nostalgia chord that they're hitting. So if you can feed me any of that stuff, I'm just going to eat it up. But I know that was something that they were over the moon about. So shout out to Nick and Dynamite. Good job. Yeah,
the exclusives are probably one of the cooler nostalgia ones, number ones that they really put out. Like, and to be honest, the whole on the Dynamite side, I think these variants are actually cool that they were doing. A lot of the ones at MegaCon that I saw were awesome. A lot of the ones that are just other people were putting out in general. I mean, Mumra never looked so badass. Like Lion-O never looked so badass. And it was definitely cool to see that. I'm hoping again the story picks up, and again we all have our we all have our thoughts on it. So let's see what happens going forward.
I think my
Binkies,
main issue. Sorry,
go ahead. No, yeah.
My main issue with it was like I really enjoyed it. I'm kind of with you, Justin. It wasn't anything like it wasn't like holy hell, this is amazing, But it was really good. I did really really enjoy it. I wasn't a big fan of Tigra's like mutton chops or like
his mustache.
Yeah,
it was like, that's what a lot of people said too.
I was very much like, wait, dude, is this guy the same age as Panthro now? Like, what's happening? Is Panthro's like the old ass dude, and this guy looks like an old ass dude too, and he's got like that almost like Colonel Mustard look going on. Like, I don't know what was going on with this dude.
He looked like the Irish guys that have literally like he looked like
Dum Dugan.
Yeah, Dum Dugan, like the whole thing
like
go all the way around.
I wasn't feeling it, man. I'm hoping like maybe he gets like a fireball to the face and it singes the fur off or something.
And people were like, "Well, where's Snarv? Where the like
Tiger was just so handsome in the original. He was just so clean cut and handsome.
Yeah, he was cool. Yeah, I get you. All right, so what about you, Mr. Binkies? What are you reading? Anything fun and exciting these days?
So the only 2 books that I've picked up and read through in the past couple of weeks, one was Ultimate Black Panther, the other was Thundercats. I thought Ultimate Black Panther was decent, not great. I didn't think it's anywhere near as good as Ultimate Spider-Man. I continue to be apprehensive about the relaunch of this whole Ultimates universe. I feel like we've been down this road before and we saw what happened. But, there's real comic fervor behind it. The past 2 or 3 weeks, I would say, are the first time, if you look at Cover Price's top 10 or any of the real actual sales-driven top 10s and not like feeling-based top 10s, that legitimate open order issues are more than 50% of that top 10. And it's not back issues; it's stuff that's currently coming out.
Yeah, the Ultimate Black Panther was definitely another one that I read, and trying to keep up with this new Ultimate universe. I didn't really see the go getting on this one. Obviously, like you said, same thing. It's not Ultimate Spider-Man. I get the idea of bringing in like this whole Moon Knight thing. His brother's there, like, but still at the same time, like I didn't feel like it brought that Ultimate Spider-Man #1 feel, right? And it's Black Panther has never been like an A-list character, so to restart the Ultimate Universe and to go right from Ultimate Spider-Man to Black Panther, like so many other characters in between that you could have done, right? And I get why they did like him, because he's like kind of far off, so everything that happened in Ultimate Invasion really didn't affect them because Wakanda was there before the Maker. So
yeah, and I mean I feel like as well, it's just widespread. If think about it this way, if you're talking MCU related properties in the Ultimate Universe and things like that, yeah, everyone knows Spider-Man. Spider-Man's always going to carry, but to your average nobody that knows anything but only knows MCU things, they couldn't name a singular Avenger. It's not like they're going to put out an Ultimate Captain America book and people are going to be like, yeah, sign me up. Because that's the only other name that I feel like you can throw out there on the front of a book and someone would be like, yeah, I know what that is. Cool. So I feel like Black Panther, especially in recent media, it's the one book or one character, I should say, it's out there. So somebody that may not know much about anything would see and be like, yeah, I know Black Panther. I know those 2 movies. I'll give this a read.
So for my books, obviously the past couple weeks, you kind of talked about some books from last week. This week's reads for kind of honorable mentions, again, the Wolverine stuff. I know, Zach, you're reading that. So I really don't want to speak too much on it. It was a little bit of a downer, I would say, except for one panel. I'm just gonna say X23, and you people can, if you've read it, you know exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah, it's wild.
Batman and Robin #6. It's funny. I talked about it with Batman and Robin #5. By this part, that Batman and Damian are kind of trying to find what's going on in school. They think there's one of the kids is Zaz's son, right? That's what we talked about the last one. And I'm always so fucking gullible that I actually believe that the kid was actually Zaz's son. But again, that they somehow they get me. Like I know it's not, right? I know that they're not going to have like the children of these characters who've been around for so long. And good issue. Obviously, Zaz is a character that you really don't get to see too much, but they still, by the end of the issue, they still brought back the whole Man-Bat thing. And I think that's what's really cool is, again, I said this a while ago in a couple other issues, you're bringing Man-Bat as a character who needs like a bump up in the Batman Rogues. So good issue. The dynamic between Damian and Batman is growing. I like, it's part the whole detective side with Batman and Robin in costume. And then the other half of the issue is father and son, which was something that was so cool about the original Batman and Robin New 52 run that I loved as well. But definitely pick of the week, Mighty Morphin Power Rangers The Return #1. Zach, did you get a chance to read this one?
I haven't got to that one. That's when Pink Ranger returns, right?
Yes. So really cool. Like, I haven't read a Power Rangers book other than the crossover that they've done, obviously, with Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. The last Power Rangers book I probably opened up was like the first appearance of Lord Draken, but this happens 20 years after. Realistically, it would be season 1. So they beat Lord Zed and Rita. The Power Rangers kind of disband. The Black Ranger is the only one who kind of says that he was an actual Power Ranger. The rest of them, he says, oh, well, the other Rangers are from all over the world. So it wasn't just like, oh, all the Rangers are there in Angel Grove. At this point, Trini, the Yellow Ranger, she passed away in real life. So they kind of did the same thing. They didn't, she's not around. Tommy, same thing. He died at some point. So the only ones left are the Black Ranger, Blue, Billy, Jason, the Red Ranger. He's kind of like off. And then obviously Amy Jo Johnson, who actually was the Pink Ranger. She co-wrote this with somebody else, and she kind of like moves away, moves to Canada, different name. And they start bringing each other back together, and something happens. Some creature or somebody is actually hunting the Rangers now. And the only person who kind of still uses his powers is Jason, the Red Ranger, but he's gone missing. So now the three Rangers left are trying to find out like what's going on. So, and they kind of made like a pact like years ago that they never would use their swords. They would never use their abilities again. And all of a sudden Jason's the only one who's doing that, like to kind of being like a mercenary, and it's pretty cool the way you see him. So, but pick of the week, Power Rangers The Return #1 was awesome. And it really brought back the nostalgic of the 90s stuff. So, what about you, man? Zach, what do you got for reads?
Let's see. Let me through them. Yeah, the Batman and Robin was really good. I like the Transformers this week was pretty strong as well. But I think honestly, I enjoyed actually surprisingly, and I wasn't sure if I was going to pick this book up, but the Mace Windu. Actually, kind of enjoyed the Mace Windu book, which was I think was last week. But I wasn't really sure I was going to pick it up, to be honest. I kind of feel like I'm burned a lot on Star Wars lately. I'm really kind of down on the Star Wars imprint at the moment. Mm-hmm. There hasn't been a lot of like great stories currently, I feel like. So, but I picked it up. I enjoyed it. I thought it was cool. And honestly, I think part of it's cool is because you just can't help but read it. And it's Samuel L. Jackson's voice. Whenever he talks, you just like hear Samuel L. Jackson's voice in your head. So that was cool. But I think honestly, my pick of the week is I think it's issue 8. Let me check real quick. Green Lantern that just came out. Yeah, Green Lantern #8. And honestly, I thought I wasn't sure if I was going to keep going after Green Lantern 1 and 2 with this one, but man, it's really gotten strong. I mean, in a nutshell, basically, the Guardians are gone. The United Planets are running the Green Lantern Corps, and they've like quarantined Earth because it's a shithole that just is constantly in trouble, right? And so, Hal they tell all the Green Lanterns they can't go back to Earth, and Hal goes back to Earth and he loses his ring, but he ends up like creating a new ring, and it's operating a little different. And in this issue, we're kind of getting a little bit more like information on it, but you're also seeing it's kind of the bigger issue going on is a lot of the power batteries are being destroyed. So like the blue power battery was destroyed. The green one's been destroyed, I think. And so there's some like bigger threat going on out there in the universe. And it's really cool. And they have at the end of each issue, there's kind of like a sub story. And this one was Kyle Rayner and him kind of exploring it a little bit as well with Joe Sojourner and stuff. But yeah, I'm really liking it. Was it issue 6 or 7 where we find out like the death of Kilowog? That was crazy. Mm-hmm. That was a really good issue. But it's strong, and I feel like it's getting stronger, and I'm getting more intrigued. And I love Green Lantern stuff, and especially when they actually like lean into the spectrum and the ring colors and stuff like that.
Mhm.
So I'm hoping we get a little bit more from that too. But yeah, I've really enjoyed this one so far. So
Nice.
So the real question is, did anyone read Night Thrasher?
I did. Actually, I did.
How was it?
So
Because I was baffled as to why we're reintroducing.
okay,
this
so
comic.
actually, I'm glad you brought that up because I did want to talk about it. I was kind of excited about it because I love 90s stuff, right? So like I the New Warriors, are they great? No, they're not great, but they're fun as hell to read. Like the old New Warriors were fun, man. Then they did the New Warriors where they died in Stamford, right? And then I saw Night Thrasher 1 come out, and I was like, okay, I'm intrigued. Like, and I didn't buy it though. I was like, you know what? I'm not gonna buy it though. So I read it online. And I don't know, man. It wasn't great. It wasn't horrible. They have some good. There's a lot of flashback characters. Obviously, Silhouette's in it. Midnight Fire shows up. So there's some callbacks. Night Thrasher's character is just kind of like, I don't know. Long story short, he's kind of back, but he doesn't really. He knows he's back from the dead because of the weird stuff that happened in Contest of Champions. He's supposed to be dead, and he's not sure if he should be back. So he's all like angsty, like, oh, like, should I be dead? Like, no, you're alive. I don't know what to tell you. So he's doing all this weird shit, and then you see the villain at the end. I don't really want to spoil it since it just came out, but it's another character you'll know from like New Warriors, era. But it wasn't great. It wasn't horrible.
Mhm.
I'll probably check out issue 2. So
I'm just confused how they had 5 open order covers for it.
really,
Wow. 5 open order covers.
I'm guessing it ends up being a mini series, dude. This is like Marvel starts and they're like, oh, sales are down, ended at 5, like real quick.
Giving
shut
you-
it down.
yeah.
Everyone just shut it down.
Quick.
Yeah. Giving you that many covers on just an issue 1 for like a, what is it? Like a, God, I don't know. E-list character? Come on.
Yeah.
It's pretty weird.
It's low. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, even with the Warriors, he was like the least exciting. Coolest looking, maybe, but like
Yeah.
the least exciting. And they
I
give
would
the dude a
definitely say that.
skateboard. Like, what the fuck?
I think in the skateboard, and like even this time around, in terms of visual appearance, he's not doing it for me on that Alan Quad cover. This is not doing it for me.
Is that the cover A?
Yeah.
The one it kind of looks almost like he's going through like hyperspace.
Yeah, it's either hyperspace, and I think it's supposed to be like a glass pane, and there's a set of hands, and
Yeah.
he looks like a reject from like a 2000 BioShock video game. It's just not good.
Nice.
It's
Love
not
that game.
bad.
Good callback.
I would say check it out if you're interested in reading it. It's not horrible. It's not horrible. And it could get better. Like I said, I like the callbacks to some of the New Warriors like universe type stuff. So that was kind of
I
cool.
did have to chuckle as well. Though there's a Joe Jusko trading card variant for it. I'm like, Jusko did a trading card of Night Thrasher? Okay, sure, whatever.
Trading.
I mean, I
card,
love me some Joe
everybody.
Jusko. But yeah, I do love Joe Jusko. I'm gonna look at that. Joe Jusko, Night
I have
Thrasher.
so many tabs open of things that you've said to go down these rabbit holes when I get home later.
And like, admittedly, it's really good art, but like, why on earth is Jusko doing random trading card of Night Thrasher of all people?
Still better than any epic variant.
Dude, it's still
Well,
better than Taco Time, bro.
That's a low bar.
Dan, yeah, whoever you get, whatever.
Oh God, I don't want to jump too far.
Yeah,
back.
we're not gonna go back into that. So
Sorry.
let's real quick.
Yeah.
Let's kind of just we this week. I know none of us have seen it, and probably none of us will see it. The Madam Web movie just came out, getting awful reviews. Pretty much plummeting.
No way.
Listen, I probably will end up going to see it on like a matinee where it's buy one. Please just take. They give me money to actually go see the movie. But,
So they just give
yeah.
you the bag of popcorn.
they just gave me the money, a whole bag of popcorn and a soda just to go see it, so they can
one
actually
ticket
run
is
this
good
movie.
for the entire theater.
Yeah, I could have the whole theater to myself just so they can have somebody employed to actually press the button to hit play. But with that being said, we had a trailer drop of Deadpool at the Super Bowl. We also had the announcement of the Fantastic Four cast, and we also got a trailer drop for X-Men97. Let's kind of go around the horn real quick. Let's just talk about this. So, ComicDunes, what was your favorite thing that they kind of dropped Marvel this week?
Yeah, it was the Deadpool Wolverine until we got the X-Men. And the Deadpool Wolverine got me excited. to see what they were gonna do. There's a lot of leaks coming out, so interested. And then all of a sudden, it was like X-Men97. I'm all in. Give me that. That was just really cool. I noticed some of the voices seemed a little bit off.
I used to the '90s thing. Come on, that's what it is.
Yeah.
You remember those voices? You've watched it that series so many times.
Yeah, but some weren't the same. Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. So I
Which-
don't know what happened to those characters, the voice actors, but
Which, side note, by the way, for those folks that aren't aware, and I assume most folks that listen to this podcast are aware, if you were anticipating on watching X-Men97, you actually need to go back and watch the old series because it is literally the follow-up to it.
Yeah.
So unless you go back and rewatch the old stuff, you're going to have no blessed clue what the hell is happening.
I have it going on in the background almost all the time here at the shop when I'm doing
Wise. I've seen wrestling at that shop.
No, both. Check my history.
Oh, Jesus. Well,
Good. Hey, man, we're not trying to open up that Pandora's box.
Yeah. I don't need to see what OnlyFans page you're going on. Like,
I
I
promise.
want to see how many times you Googled taco time.
Binkies, what was your favorite thing of this week's Marvel's drop?
For sure, it's X-Men97. It's the thing that I'm most looking forward to.
Yep.
I don't need to see so I mean, I've seen it, but like I don't need a trailer for Deadpool. It's gonna get my money anyway, and I feel like, and if we learned anything, I feel like that trailers for things like Deadpool are just, we're gonna use the word again, they're just creating a cash grab is all it's doing. I don't need it all in front of me. I'm gonna let it play out. I could have used the 30-second teaser and called it a day. I don't need to see Alioth punning people, and I don't need to see Pyro back, and I don't need to see people making up scene characters and things in the books to try to sell other things, and I don't need to see people saying, oh, there's a copy of Secret Wars 5, and then suddenly a $2 dollar bin book is now a $65 book because a glimpse was in snow.
Yeah. I mean, I see like behind, obviously this is audio, but I think I see about 15 copies behind ComicDunes at his shop right now, and they look like they're priced about $40 or $50.
Oh, higher than that. I price gouge everything.
Oh, you're price gouging? Okay.
The rule is this: it's either going to be $2 or $2,000. I might make something up. I have a price gun readily available, and it's a game of Russian roulette.
So you don't use the yearly Beckett of comics. You don't use the comics guide.
Tag?
Yes.
No, I do not.
Okay. So yeah.
But it's avoid FOMO, folks. That's all I'm gonna say about that. Please avoid FOMO. And if you're going to consider that these books and appearances may mean something, take the time to understand what the stories are about. I posted something on my IG earlier this week, which was literally no more than 12 hours after that trailer drop, that Key Collector had already updated the quote unquote value of the book to a high of $30, which no. Number one, no. Number two, if you're going to do that, I've got a better idea for you. Number one, tell people why that book is actually a real key.
Because it's Night Machine, bro. First appearance of Night Machine.
Yeah, exactly. That's the only reason, right? It has nothing to do with the death of Molecule Man. Nope. Nothing at all. Don't want to mention that. And then number two, if you're going to do things like that and update those values and do those things, well, I don't fundamentally have a problem with that. I've got a better idea. Why don't you go and unhide legitimate keys and stop forcing people to hit the little checkbox to show all issues for certain things? And for those folks that are like, what the hell are you talking about? I'm going to give everyone a primed example of this. If you search for Batman, The Adventure Continues, so the two series that came out, I guess this is probably like 3 and 4 years ago. The one whole run of that literally just doesn't even exist, which included, I'm not going to say it's major, but in the scheme of things, a major first appearance of a character who is now involved as a follower, disciple, if you will, of Deathstroke. And it was a book that for quite a while was like a $20 raw book. But yet you have to check the box that says, show me all of the non-keys to find that. But this thing, because it appeared in the snow in a trailer, it's out there. $30 book.
Too good. Zach, real quick.
No, I'm gonna go long actually.
Whatever.
No, I don't
Funeral.
know. I mean, Deadpool is Deadpool. Honestly, I love the Deadpool movies. Don't get me wrong. Like Binky said, of course, it's gonna get my money. But I hate all the Easter eggs and I hate all the new characters that they're throwing in. It's because I know they're not going to be a character of value. Like we talked the past week or so ago about Dazzler. Like that's a great character that could be wasted in like a cameo. Like that stuff bums me out. So it's cool. It's whatever. X-Men 97. Yeah, I thought it was really cool. Also, I'm kind of on a little bland on all three, to be honest. And then the Fantastic Four, like it was like, okay, casting.
We knew about this. For the
yeah,
most part,
they'd
right?
all
It
been
wasn't
kinda
really anything
rumored,
surprising.
right? So I'm a little meh on all of them, to be honest. That wasn't like really blown away.
I
I'm
think
a
the only
man
thing
Pedro.
that like people that knew, but not necessarily everyone knew, was the fact that Fantastic Four is going to take place in the 1960s. I don't think a lot of people necessarily
Yeah.
consider that or realize that, and they thought that we were going to get another, rehash of what we had from Fox, where it's like modern age and everything else. No, they're going back to the 1960s. So I think that has the potential to be interesting, but
Yeah.
what do you do with a series like that? Because let's all be honest with ourselves for a second. Does anyone really give a damn about the Fantastic Four, or do people give a damn about the Fantastic Four because of things like Galactus and Silver Surfer and Doctor Doom? Does anyone really care about Reed Richards?
Yeah.
Does anyone really care about the Thing?
It's all about the villains. They may be Marvel's first family, but it's all about the villains.
Yep.
Who first appeared in all their books. That's all that matters throughout the entire Fantastic Four. Even, Stan Lee, Kirby, all that. No.
Yeah. So that's one thing I'm curious about. I mean, obviously we just have casting news, and it's just a small snippet. And
Herbie. Don't forget about Herbie's in there.
Herbie's in there. I did appreciate that. I thought that was kind of a fun throwback.
Yeah, that was cool.
But
for myself, the Deadpool thing was whatever. It made me end up watching Deadpool 2 on Disney Plus like Monday or Tuesday. I had it on the background while I was, boxing up some stuff. I think the X-Men 97 was totally cool watching it, and then that moment when Gambit jumps on Wolverine's back and like supercharges his claws, totally got the douche chills on that. Like I was just like, "Ooh, that's awesome! Like that's really cool! Like I can't wait for the battles." And like you see the Sentinels are in there, Bishop is in there, Magneto. There's so much stuff that I'm hoping for that they do, and they don't ruin it by like taking things out of context that are happening now in like our society. Like it should be. Again, it's 97, so what's going on? What was happening in 1997 in comic books in the world? But we'll see. So that was a long episode. Appreciate everybody who stuck around. You actually got to hear some comic book talk. We talked, of course, all the Epic Nation BS. Again, make sure you go check out Bryan McClay's full show on YouTube on Beyond Wednesdays. I want to thank my panel guests, the addition to the Jeff Squareds over here. Before we get out of here, let's find out where they can, where you could see them. Mr. Binkies03, where can people find you?
Everyone can find me for not much longer, but on Whatnot. Little teaser.
Ooh.
You guys may not be seeing me much after about a week from now. So,
are you going to start selling on that Spider-Man Boots page?
How'd you know? In fact, I'm just going to make mystery boxes.
Mercari? You going to Mercari?
I heard they have great shipping rates on Mercari.
Great shipping rates on Mercari, dude.
Top Shop Live, bro. That's what it's all about.
I actually made that platform.
Okay.
Yeah, were you there? Were you the founder?
I was there. I was there when you created it.
You are never going to get it. We are never getting those people on this podcast.
But no, you guys will be able to find me on Whatnot for about one more week. Other than that, hopefully you guys will be hearing and seeing me a little bit more here. Hopefully, you guys have some room for a lonely straggler to pop in every once in a while.
Always welcome on the channel, bro. Always
and
welcome.
Other than that, you guys can see me on Beyond Wednesdays. I'll be around Saturdays, some Wednesdays, some other days. Awesome. And more importantly, you can find me on Instagram. And anybody that is listening, please follow the Instagram, because there are some important things that are going to be said in the next handful of days. So please keep an eye out on that.
Binkies03, everyone. Binkies03. Yes. All right, let's go to the other Jeff. We kept him long enough. I could see him at the shop. He's dying over there. He's hungry. He wants to go home. He wants to play some Fortnite.
I do. I actually do. It's horrible.
ComicDunes, what's up?
And if you're on there, you can find me at ComicDunes. You can find me on Instagram, ComicDunes. You can find me at the Jam Comic Store, Route 770 Route 15 South, Lake Hopatcong, New Jersey. Thursdays and Saturdays. And then at Fat Jack's Comic Crypt in Philly, 2006 Sansom Street. It's so many. I'm at so many places on Tuesday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. So we got a lot going on. Excuse me. We're going to be hosting a lot of signings moving forward. We're working on Scott Hanna plus a ton of other people. I'll call you on the way home and let you know. But
you got the experience as well. Selling on the experience.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Look at that. We do a morning show on Thursdays, which is why I'm actually a little extra tired today, because we run from 11 to 12:30 on the Experience YouTube channel. Check that out. And then we're going to be doing a night show on Saturdays as well. Instagram, the whole bit. ComicDunes, Jam Comic Store. Check us out.
You guys can also find Idiot Dunes at Bubbles on the Pole. So be sure to stop by and bring your dollar bills.
I'll take it.
Since you might as well, you're throwing out all your addresses. Why don't you just give them your home address so they can go buy
it? I'm not hard to find, man. I put a business card in every order.
Yeah.
All you got to do is buy a book if you want to get in touch with me.
Pretty much. Yeah. That's how you do it. Zach, closing words.
No, all good.
All right. For myself, of course, the Comic-Con podcast will be at King Kong in about 2 months. Obviously, we got that rolling soon. Terrific Con. Please check out our sponsors, Sidekick Supplies. They are rocking and rolling over there. I literally had to make my third order because I just have so many short boxes over here that just have some space and I need to throw them in there. So that's it from us here at the Comic-Con podcast. Please share out this if you want to hear people rant and rave about Epic Nation. And again, voice your opinion, see something, say something. Let's get out of here, everybody. Thank you so much. Peace out.
Later.